Welcome back. Our next guest is the co-author, along with Steve Bellevin and Avi Rubin, of Firewalls and Internet Security, Repelling the Wily Hacker. Today, let's repel the wily hacker with one of my favorite guests, Bill Cheswick. Welcome back, Bill. It's good to have you on.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You added Avi Rubin to the masthead of your new book.
Yeah, we needed, well, someone who could help us get the job done. Steve and I were bogged down on the second edition.
Boy, you get those three people, though. That's there are no more wonderful people in this area.
It was great working with them.
You really are the guys. What's new? The second edition just came out on Valentine's Day.
It's pretty much a rewrite.
You know, when the first edition came out, firewalls were corporate entities.
And you built them yourself.
Yeah. And now every user out there practically knows about firewalls, and most of them have them.
Yep.
That's a big change.
It is. It is. They're all over the place, and they're all pretty good, too.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. We don't even talk about any particular commercial firewalls, just because
they all do the job.
They all pretty much do the job.
You don't worry about stateless inspection versus, I can't remember all those.
We describe all that stuff and try to give a broad idea of what they're there for and why you'd want one or the other and what does the best job. But, you know, you can do a pretty good job using almost all of that stuff, anything.
Now, many of our users, because they have firewalls for the first time, are suddenly brought up short saying, my God, there's people attacking me all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
What is that all about?
Well, it's mostly robotic, just programs out there.
Harmless?
Worms. Oh, no. If you're susceptible, it'll get you. There was a paper out last year showing how to write a virus that will try every machine on the internet in about 5 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
It must kind of propagate itself.
You sort of preload it a little bit, but every machine that gets infected, you know, does 10 million others or 10,000. It spreads it out. You can do it in a couple minutes.
Nobody's done that.
Not that I know of, not yet, but soon.
The side effect of that would be the amount of traffic it would generate would bring the internet to its knees. Forget the security issue.
In fact, that's one of the things you notice. The internet gets slow, and it may be because one of these attacks is going on.
Really?
Yeah.
So should everybody be running a firewall?
Well, if you don't know what you're doing, the answer is probably yes. I've been running without a firewall for about 6 years.
And you know, I don't use an antivirus, and I say the same thing. It's because I know what not to do.
Well, that's part of it. It's like skinny dipping. It's well,
continue.
It's sort of this dangerous freedom.
Yes.
But you have to be careful.
You have to watch for the rocks.
That's right.
Yes.
And I've been doing it. It really focuses.
Why?
Because it really focuses you on getting the host to be secure, which is really where you want it to be.
Can Windows ever be secure enough to do that?
Someday.
But not now.
Maybe in our children's day. You know,
great-grandchildren.
You know, Bill Gates came out last year and said, we're going to make this secure.
Right.
And we all sat around saying, yeah, well, you got a big job. We wish you well. We had a meeting back in January, and we heard from some people at Microsoft, and they are really doing the right sorts of things.
Good.
They know it's a long haul, but they're retraining people to think about security. They've been developing tools to do that sort of thing. I wouldn't depend on it for security yet myself, but it looks to me like they're doing the right sort of stuff. A whole bunch of us came away from that meeting really encouraged that maybe something good will come out of this.
So you wouldn't agree with some who say that the fundamental architecture of Windows is flawed and it can't ever be secure?
Yeah, maybe.
It's possible?
It's certainly possible. It's 42 million lines of code, something like that. Marcus Random wrote a 50-line program once and said, this is secure, and gave it to Steve Bellevin. He found a security bug in it.
That's 50 lines, and Marcus knows what he's doing.
And he does. And so how do you manage this? You've got to do layers, is what you got to do in security. Just if you're protecting atom bombs or Windows or whatever, you need to have lots of different layers so that they have to go through.
And
it's like the old Get Smart, Maxwell Smart, going through all the doors.
Yeah.
You really want lots of different doors and you want to watch what's going on so that people can't sneak through all the doors. And that really gives you high security, even if the individual components are not very secure.
Okay, Mr. Skinny Dipper, so you don't run a firewall. What operating system do you use that you consider securable enough that you don't have to worry about that?
I run FreeBSD. And it's
Is that the most secure out there?
No, pretty much any of the Unix-like ones can be made quite secure if you remove all the network services. If there are no doors into the house, you can't break in.
But can you not surf the net with it?
I can, and it's dangerous.
Even having port 80 open is enough to be risky?
Oh, sure. The web servers are notoriously bad. I've jailed mine. I put mine inside a CH-root jail, so that if someone can break out of there, they still can't get to the rest of the server.
They're running as only a limited user.
And I'd like to see more of that in Windows and other operating systems, so that we've got belt and suspenders. You know, we'll make it as secure as we can, and then put it in something else.
Are firewalls what are the limitations of firewalls? Because if even surfing the net is dangerous, you have to punch a hole in the firewall to do that.
Yeah. Yep.
So it sounds like a firewall, in and of itself, is not sufficient.
It isn't. It's sort of a medium-level security, and that's something that's changed in the last 10 years. When we were building these back at around 1989, something like that, we were trying to go for very high security. Now, for example, in corporate intranets, they have some firewalls, and then they have 300,000 hosts inside the firewall. We've circled the wagons around Wyoming.
Right.
And so
there's got to be a hole somewhere in all that.
Yeah, and in fact, that's what the company I helped found does.
Lumeta maps networks.
We map networks and we try to find holes in these walls in large companies.
Because if you have that many servers, that many clients, it's too
big.
Yeah.
What you really need to do is divide it into enclaves. And if you look at what the super secret people do in the government, government runs internet on very highly classified networks.
Yeah, how do they do it?
They divide it into little enclaves that cannot talk to each other. They
cells.
segment it. Yeah, I think maybe if I had 40 computers, I could run a cell that big and keep it reasonably secure. Not 40,000, 40. Now, other people would argue about the number, but if you do that, and you do it with firewalls, among other things, that can help with the problem.
Everyday home user, most of our viewers, that's what they are. I mean, there are a lot of IT professionals watching, but the everyday home user, is it enough just to run a firewall and antivirus and just cross your fingers?
Keep the virus definition updates up to date, and most people don't do that. And
Nobody does
back up your data.
That's the best.
I
most
got
secure.
A tearful woman called me on April 15th. She's a CPA. It was in the morning.
Oh, no.
Her
Tax
machine
day.
was stuck in safe mode, and she was in tears. And, of course, all the extensions had to go out and stuff. And the hard drive is going to die. It always will. Someday it's going to die. It's going to get overwritten, the virus, something. Back it up.
It's always great to have you on. I really appreciate your time.
A pleasure.
Bill Cheswick, along with Steve Bellevin, and now Avi Rubin. The author of the wonderful must-buy Firewalls and Internet Security, especially for pros, but even if you're just an everyday person, it's fascinating. What is it again? Detecting the wily...
Repelling the wily hacker.
Yes. Best subtitle ever.
Oh, it's
Look
a
for the
marketing
cartoon.
thing. Yeah, that's
It's good marketing.
The cartoon, yeah.
Look for the cartoon on the
New
front.
cartoon, too.
Yes, I noticed that.
Yep.
Man, you updated everything.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You can find more, including more information about where to get the book on our website, thescreensavers.com.